Welcome to the Human vs. Universe. I am your narrator. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for more stories. The moment the door sealed behind me, I knew something had gone wrong. Not because of the sound. It was soft, almost polite, like a sigh of metal accepting its fate, but because of the silence that followed. A silence so complete it swallowed the hum of the station, the distant vibrations of hyperspace engines, even my own breathing. I turned slowly, staring at the smooth, seamless wall where a doorway had been just a second ago. No, I muttered, pressing my palm against the alloy. It was warm. Alive. This wasn't a cargo bay or maintenance corridor. This was a royal chamber, vast, circular, lit by bioluminescent veins that pulsed like a living heartbeat. Tall crystalline pillars reached upward into shadows, and symbols I didn't recognize shifted across the walls like watching eyes. I had been here only because of Lyra, my alien friend, my guide, my reason for surviving the last 3 cycles on the Valorian capital station. She had insisted I wait here while she handled family matters. Family matters. I should have known better. A presence moved behind me. I didn't hear footsteps. I felt her, like gravity subtly increasing, like the air itself leaning in her favor. When I turned, she was already there. She was taller than Lyra, broader at the shoulders, her iridescent skin marked with darker ceremonial lines that glowed faintly crimson. Her eyes, gods, her eyes, were twin suns caught in a permanent eclipse, ancient and sharp and focused entirely on me. The door sealed fully with a final, resonant click. Her lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. "So," she said calmly, her voice resonating through the chamber without echo, "you are the human." I swallowed. Yes, I'm Elias, Lyra's friend. Her gaze never wavered. "You are far more than that." I took a step back. She took none, and yet the distance between us vanished. "My name is Vilrix, first daughter of the Valorian matriarch," she said, "commander of the Eastern Armada, heir by blood, flame, and conquest." That was not reassuring. "I think there's been a misunderstanding," I began carefully. "Lyra just asked me to wait." "You were brought here," Vilrix interrupted. "You crossed 3 star systems under our protection. You bonded with my sister. You survived the trial storm during transit." Her eyes flared brighter. "And you activated the mark of recognition without knowing it." I stayed at my arm, the faint symbol glowing beneath my skin, something that had appeared weeks ago and refused to vanish, pulsed softly. "I didn't mean to," I said. "I don't even know what it is." Vilrix stepped closer. The air vibrated with restrained power. "That," she said quietly, "is why you belong to me now." The words hit harder than any weapon. "Excuse me." She raised one clawed hand, and the room responded, energy fields shifting, symbols aligning, the very chamber acknowledging her authority. "In Valorian law," she said, "a marked being who forms an unintentional bond with royal blood must be claimed before the bond destabilizes a throne." I shook my head. "I'm not property. I'm not." "You are human," she cut in. "A species that survives where logic predicts extinction. A species that forms emotional bonds stronger than psionic chains. A species whose presence has already begun altering our future." She leaned down until her glowing eyes were level with mine. "And you bonded with my sister." The chamber trembled. "I will not allow the throne to fracture," Vilrix continued. "Nor will I allow Lyra to be consumed by a bond she cannot control." "So you locked me in a room." I snapped. "Claim me like an object." Something dangerous flickered across her face. "No," she said softly. "I protect what becomes mine." The walls brightened. The mark burned, not painfully, but with clarity. Memories flooded me. Lyra laughing, trusting me, holding my hand during the storm as if it were the most natural thing in the galaxy. You feel it now, Vilric said. The bond stabilizing. I clenched my fists. You don't get to decide my fate. Silence. Then, something unexpected. Vilric straightened and bowed, not deeply, but unmistakably. Then decide it, she said. Prove you are not a weakness. The days that followed blurred into something unreal. I wasn't imprisoned, not exactly. I was tested. Valorian challenges weren't about strength alone. They were trials of will, empathy, adaptability, qualities humans have been underestimated for since the first contact war. I faced psionic pressure chambers designed to break minds. I endured ritual debates where a single wrong word could mean execution. I stood before ancient war beasts and refused to raise a weapon, earning their respect through stillness alone. And through it all, Vilrix watched. She never interfered, never helped, but she learned. One night, cycle, she finally spoke without command in her voice. You should have failed, she admitted. Every probability said so. I smiled tiredly. Humans specialize in being statistical errors. Something like amusement crossed her features. Lyra eventually came to me, eyes wide with fear and relief. I tried to stop her, she whispered. I didn't know the bond would. I hugged her. I'm okay, I said. And somehow, it was true. The final trial came without warning. The chamber opened to the stars themselves, a transparent platform above the capital world. Vilric stood before me, ceremonial armor glowing like a living constellation. Choose, she said. Remain bound, she continued, and become Valorian by oath. My equal in claim, protector of my sister, anchor of the throne. The stars shimmered. Oh, walk away, she finished. Free of bond, free of title, but the fracture may still come. I thought of Earth, of humanity, small, loud, fragile, and unstoppable. I won't be owned, I said firmly, but I won't abandon those I care about either. Vilric studied me for a long time. Then she did something no one expected. She removed her crown. Then do what Valorians cannot, she said, placing it between us. Stand with us without chains. The mark shifted, no longer binding, but chosen. The system stabilized. The throne endured. And when the door finally opened behind me again, I stepped forward not as a prisoner, but as something far more dangerous. A human who chose to stay. And an alien commander who learned that claiming humanity was impossible, because we were never meant to be owned, only respected.